live picture of the current chase happening now, but this is the third of the day. It has been a crazy day for police chases here in our community. But again, this white pickup truck traveling here along the railroad tracks this afternoon as authorities try to A, locate it, and B, try to figure out how to maneuver their way onto the tracks themselves without causing further accidents, further problems. I'm waiting for word now on where exactly these tracks are. All I'm hearing so far is on the Kansas side. Let's get the locator here as it pulls around, makes a U-turn now on these railroad tracks in the area. Again, just a wild scene playing out below Chopper 5 right now. We'll stay on top of this to see what exactly plays out here, but waiting for word on who exactly could be affected by this here in the metro area. As I mentioned, now this third chase of the day happening, these three completely unrelated chases, I might add, as this one takes a strange turn, though, through railway tracks, rail yards here in the metro area this afternoon. And not an easy thing to obviously to handle, to maneuver around, but that makes it even harder, obviously, for police as well to bring a stop to this. In addition to Chopper 5 helicopters, we're waiting to figure out where exactly this is, as police choppers are apparently up with Chopper 5 right now above here, trying to track this just as we are for you now at home here live above the scene. Clearly now this truck is kind of pulling away from the tracks and hitting a more solid ground here, but hopefully that will bring authorities closer to this person and bring this chase to an end before it affects anybody or before it puts anybody else's lives in danger this afternoon. But something that's always a scary thing for us to watch, obviously, and you to watch here at home because of the danger it can cause to the person who could just be possibly, in the wrong place at the wrong time. Basically, I'm going to ask our producer now where exactly this is. Apparently, just all we know is in the Kansas City, Kansas area right now, but we could see at least one police vehicle was getting pretty close to this white pickup truck this afternoon. Not sure what is in the bed of that pickup truck or why exactly they are giving chase truck at this point. Of course, lots of questions to be answered, but the main one being we want to bring this to a safe ending here so that no lives are put in danger, which is like I mentioned, our fear anytime there is a chase happening in the metro area this afternoon. There does not seem to be many police officers on the ground anyway, getting too close to this vehicle. Of course, meandering around pretty wild obstacles here in this rail yard, so that making it very difficult for authorities to get ahead of it or at least come up from behind. But we're going to stay on this from Chopper 5 and see if we can help and bring this to an ending as well. But again, police helicopters above the scene right now, and the few police vehicles that we're seeing here en route, at least trying to stay parallel with this person who is fleeing from them for an unknown reason. Right here near a highway, though, and as it goes underneath this bridge area, trying just to keep a good eye on what exactly transpires here in Kansas City, Kansas. Again, just following this white pickup truck on police chase today. Again, police here in the metro area have been pretty busy throughout the day today with different chases happening, unrelated chases, this now being the third that we've watched from Chopper 5 above just in this Monday afternoon alone. Now, what the cause is and why they're, after this person remains to be seen, but what we're hoping to see. I'm getting a better locator here for you. 18th Street Expressway and Kansas Avenue is where they are at right now as we continue to follow this chase here from Chopper 5. As you're seeing here from these live pictures, now that this white pickup truck is onto the highway here, this looks to be 18th Street Expressway, and there seems to be a police vehicle that is in hot pursuit and looking to be gaining on this vehicle. But in the meantime, what our concerns are is the tracking vehicles that are out there trying to put a stop to this truck, but all of those other vehicles that are out there in the area as well, who unknowingly may come in contact with this fleeing vehicle and be hurt in the process. That is our immediate concern. But this obviously heading here, it looks to be southbound on 18th Street Expressway, just passing now Metropolitan Avenue. As I mentioned, it's getting actually very, very close to the KCTV5 studios here in Fairway, Kansas. But at least one police car, looks like now two, are really gaining on this white pickup truck this afternoon as we await word from the authorities on why exactly they started this chase to begin with. That's something that will shake out just as soon as we make sure that this comes to a peaceful ending here along 18th Street Expressway. You can see, luckily, not a whole lot of traffic out at this hour, but enough cars that it does give us cause for concern to have a chase like this here in broad daylight at now 4:20 in the afternoon as we head towards the rush hour this afternoon. Again, heading southbound, it looks to be, to me anyway, from what I can tell, the 18th Street Expressway as it crosses ever closer to the I-35 intersection there. And it looked to be that the driver anyway seemed to be slowing down. It seemed there for a moment, thought maybe they'd be pulling over, maybe giving up on this, but then put the pedal to the metal again here and took off yet again here, heading southbound, I think, on 18th Street Expressway. As we watch so closely here, it's hard for me to tell exactly where we are. But oh, it looks to be that they have, pulled off onto Row now. Onto Row Avenue. Well, 18th Street Expressway kind of becomes Row there after you pass by I-35, so this makes sense here. Now, many stop lights here in this area. Again, this right by our Channel 5 studios here, and there are many stop lights and a much more congested area here as you pass by Johnson Drive and passing by Shawnee Mission Parkway and such. Very, very concerning here as we see this truck continue to just speed right through these intersections as well. Many more chances, obviously, for someone to be injured when this happens in a more congested area like this. So, obviously, cause for concern. It looks to be, could be southbound on Knoll here? No, heading into the more neighborhood streets. This is more east of Row, I guess, on the neighborhood streets there in that area as clearly authorities try to keep on top of this white pickup truck this afternoon, now heading into a much more residential section east of Row, heading southbound here in the Fairway area of Kansas this afternoon. This is now, that's Buena Vista apparently, and then turning right as now at least two vehicles seem to be really gaining on this white pickup truck this afternoon. This driver has come quite a long way, as we have watched here from Chopper 5, continues to be undaunted, just continues to go and go. We thought for a moment there that he may be slowing down, maybe giving up, but that does not seem to be the case. Not going to give in anytime soon, according to the driver of this white pickup truck, but we hope that we see this come to a peaceful ending this afternoon for sure. We know now that, taking kind of a U-turn here, heading now into a different direction. We're waiting for current locators now for where this is. Boy, if you live in the Fairway area, Mission, Kansas area, Roland Park area, something to be very aware of. If you are heading out right now or know someone who's out on the road right now, maybe give it a minute. Let's make sure this comes to a peaceful ending here before you get caught in what could be a very bad situation. Anytime there is a chase, that's our initial concern, is that someone gets in the way and gets hurt unknowingly, not having a clue that this is coming towards them. So again, this in the residential areas here now. Of course, a busy time of day on this Monday afternoon at 20 minutes past the hour as kids are coming home from school and such. So another reason for concern as we watch this chase here pulling through on the Kansas side, just meandering through all these side streets in this neighborhood here and giving us great cause for concern this afternoon as we continue to watch. This looks to be back on Row Boulevard this afternoon. Gary got a closer eye from a different vantage point here, and you say there seems to be at least one passenger in this vehicle?
It appears as though there was a passenger, and that passenger looked very distraught. Feet were up on the dashboard, face buried in his or her hands. So there are obviously at least two people in that pickup truck, and I was trying to...
Making us even more concerned that that person not a willing participant in fleeing from police this afternoon. So we'll have to wait and see what exactly transpires here. But as these roads become more congested here, it's going to be more and more difficult for this driver to make their way out of this situation and get away from police at this point. This is the Walmart parking lot right there on Row. In Roland Park, Kansas. So this actually very congested parking lot to try to meander through. Used to be a dollar store there, that liquor store there on the side, tearing through the parking lot there right behind Taco Bell and all of the fast food restaurants that sit there on Row, not too far from Johnson Drive and Shawnee Mission Parkway. But yeah, that's a busy intersection. This is a very busy intersection as this person continues now onto Row Lane. Now here, not through a construction area here, getting more and more difficult to maneuver around all of the obstacles that are there, but also making it more difficult to pull this person over. Now, chases have become sort of a political debate here lately, as many say and argue that police maybe should not do this, should not give chase when it hits certain speeds and puts certain number of people in danger. The argument has been, do you lay off? Do you not continue with the chase? So that obviously a question that investigators will have to debate as they continue to decide, do we continue with this or do we just kind of let it go and hope that at least no one else will be put in harm's way? Just went back under I-35 there, that main intersection here.
Oh, my gosh.
Took some air going over a big
railroad tracks.
Jump in the railroad tracks there in that area. The only hope is that it hurts the suspension in some way, hurts the tires in some way, and causes at least a bit of a slowdown so that authorities can gain speed on them, gain a little distance here. And as we've seen in chases past, as we've watched from Chopper 5, we've seen usually the best way is as all of these coordinated efforts try to stop this one vehicle, their best bet oftentimes is to try to get ahead of the vehicle and maybe drop down some stop sticks or something to blow out some tires and then hopefully slow the car down, or actually just bring the car to a stop from the head of it rather than just chase from behind. That has, as we've seen, tends to be kind of an MO that's often used. So we'll see if maybe we can't see it from Chopper 5 perhaps, but there could be officers even ahead of this person now trying to bring it to a stop that direction.
Looks like they're on Miriam Lane.
Yeah, heading westbound on Miriam Lane.
And they would be heading towards Antioch. That's another very, very congested intersection, especially at this time of day.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, we're getting some word now that this chase actually originated on the other side of the state line in Kansas City, Missouri initially, and has just maneuvered its way through the afternoon. It was Chopper 5 that actually spotted the chase beginning and has followed it really the whole way as it's meandered from Kansas City, Missouri, all the way to the Kansas side now here on still Miriam Lane, we think. Have we hit Antioch yet?
It has to be getting close.
Yeah, and then we're hearing there's at least... we don't really want Chopper 5 to pull way back, but if it would zoom way out, we would see there's at least 4 or 5 police vehicles apparently really close to the tail of this white pickup truck that they're after. So they're not far away from this, but just not able to bring this to a stop yet. This is at 31st and Miriam Lane. Right now is the locator that I'm getting, 31st and Miriam Lane this afternoon, and yeah, at points there, you saw it, this vehicle pulling into going the wrong direction down these roads, making us extra nervous, obviously, as we watch this transpire this afternoon, something we do not want to see ever here in the metro area. That's
Antioch.
Antioch here, which is going to be much more congested than we've even seen so far, but again, traveling the wrong direction for a time there in the wrong lanes. Making for more chances for people to be hit in passing here in the turn lane here, heading down Antioch this afternoon. Southbound, you think?
That would be southbound, yeah. Mm-hmm. I get a little confused with Miriam Lane, Miriam Boulevard. I believe it's Miriam Boulevard now once you make the turn.
But heading southbound here on Antioch.
should be passing 55th Street right there.
Just wild to me that even with that big jump it took over those railroad tracks at one point, that the car is holding up this well.
Oh, it's amazing. And this is Johnson Drive, though, that they're coming up to pretty soon.
We're hearing 53rd Street and Merriam Drive.
Yes, that would be right. But they are, the next intersection should be Johnson Drive, which also can be very busy.
Yeah, look at that. Look at all those cars there at the intersection.
Now going westbound on Johnson Drive. Then turning right off. This is basically a cutoff road that'll take you over to Shawnee Mission Parkway.
Yeah, tucking behind back into that kind of park area back in there behind Johnson Drive.
And have turned off into a residential area. If you don't know the roads back there, there are a lot of dead ends and a lot of bad choices.
Well, let's hope for a dead end here along this way. That would sure help authorities gain a little more access, because at this point it almost looks as if they have really stepped back from really chasing this white vehicle. I am not seeing the number of police vehicles that we had seen there momentarily gaining speed on this white pickup truck. All of a sudden, I'm not seeing many in sight.
No, that looks to be southbound on Neiman now, if they're that far west.
So again, if you're just now tuning in here to KCTV 5 News at 4, this is happening right now, a police chase of this.
No, now they're on Shawnee Mission Parkway. They're heading east.
Heading back eastbound on Shawnee Mission Parkway, this white pickup truck has been followed by officials now from the Kansas City, Missouri side into Kansas City, Kansas. Now winding around through neighborhoods, at one point into a rail yard on railroad tracks, and now heading eastbound on Shawnee Mission Parkway. As I mentioned, it's very, very close now to our KCTV5 studios here at Channel 5 being off to the left if he would have continued on straight. Having pulled off now into these residential neighborhoods, boy, this is a scary situation as it now re-enters
I-35.
the highway heading southbound on I-35.
I believe this is northbound, I think, on I-35, if I was looking at that correctly.
All right, but anyway, on I-35, back on the highway yet again.
It is on southbound I-35.
Now able to reach, obviously, higher speeds, but just passing their 67th Street on I-35, now off on the berm, and a lot more vehicles here in this person's way. Gary noticed earlier from a little different vantage point that not only obviously is there a driver of this car, seems to be someone in the passenger seat as well, someone who looked a little scared, frankly, face covered, feet up, as they're traveling along with this vehicle. So not sure at all if that person is, happily along for the ride here or just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Couldn't tell if he made contact with that van when he was
getting a little too close as passing all of these vehicles here. Boy, something to watch for if you are ever out on the roadway, someone driving erratically like this. Best bet you can do is just get as far away as you can, pull off as best you can, and get away from it, because this is just bound for trouble as it heads now southbound on I-35 towards 87th Street Parkway. Is approximately this area. And actually, we talk about rush hour and you think 5 o'clock, but just weaving in and out of this traffic here on I-35. That's right there near 87th Street Parkway, because that's an area that actually in the rush hour, technically, it gets much more congested right about now. It doesn't wait for 5 o'clock. About 4:30, we start to see a lot more cars, as you can see here along I-35. They're heading into Johnson County during afternoon hours like this. It is a very congested time, making us very nervous for an erratic drive like this to be happening through the main streets here heading towards Lenexa this afternoon. So again, this now happening as we speak. This white pickup truck being chased by police, by investigators from both sides of the state line, having weaved in and out of traffic. And I'm hearing now that this began at 34th and Lawndale in Kansas City, Missouri. And apparently there was an occupied police car there at 34th and Lawndale, and this car hit the occupied police car, and that's what really started this chase. There may have been more to it than that, but that is what really ignited this chase on the Kansas City, Missouri side, and has led now through some wild scenes heading to the Kansas side now, still heading southbound here on I-35, oftentimes on the shoulder of the highway, as we watch it come upon, 95th Street there,
95th
right?
is a half mile up the road here.
Yeah, and many people obviously seeing this doesn't look right and putting on their brakes and getting over, and that's a wise thing to do at this point, and let officers get as close as they can and hopefully pull this thing to a stop. Taking the exit here, it looks to be, is this 69 highway?
That is 95th Street.
Oh, 95th Street, okay. Exiting now 95th Street.
And now going eastbound.
In Overland Park and heading eastbound.
We think.
Colliding
there's
with...
definitely some contact there.
Colliding with an SUV, with a small crossover vehicle there, hit the back of that, pulled off its back bumper, and just kept on going. Okay, heading eastbound now on 95th Street as police come right up behind it. That is a police cruiser right in the rear of this pickup truck right now, hopefully bringing this to an end.
Let the passenger out.
Let the passenger out and then continued on. What a wild maneuver that was. Yes, we had been saying this passenger did not look to be a willing participant, and indeed, apparently, at least convinced this driver, let me out of this thing, and looked to be a female with a red T-shirt on, jumping from that vehicle, and she clearly put her hands up and wanted to be no part of this. So I'm sure that they're debating now, what do you do with her? Obviously, she needs to be just talked to, but the chase continues, just as we thought maybe it was coming to a peaceful ending there. Nope, just the passenger hopped out and the driver kept on going. What a wild scene happening this afternoon here in Kansas City. Heading 95th Street towards the mall. Is that where we're heading here? 95th Street towards the mall this afternoon, obviously, much more congested area. Why we are so concerned this afternoon, if you're just now tuning in, this is a chase that began quite a while ago and has gone on far longer than we ever could have imagined, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be 95th and Quivira if they're getting over towards the mall. And it looks like that could be the intersection right there. That is another massive intersection that's going to be tricky to maneuver.
This very concerning, obviously. I'm sure police trying to figure out from this woman, you know, what exactly is happening here and what is the plan. As we watch again here from Chopper 5, if you're just now tuning in, we have watched this as it has unfolded here. A police chase of this white pickup truck. It started at 34th and Lawndale in Kansas City, Missouri, and meandered onto the Kansas side. Went through some rail yards, onto 18th Street Expressway, through Fairway and Roland Park, and is now was on I-35 momentarily there until it exited then on 95th Street. Just moments ago, pulled over, thought maybe it was coming to an end, but only pulled over long enough to let the passenger jump out, and then continued on here, meandering through roads, highways, side streets, at some point neighborhood residential areas, and just continues to evade police. Now on eastbound 435 this afternoon, I'm telling you, if you have anyone heading home from work here anytime soon, is this any part of their travel zone, it may be worth waiting just a little while. Let's make sure this comes to a peaceful ending before you get in the thick of this. This is something you never want to be a part of, as we've seen through the years that people's lives have been taken when chases happen like this, and just innocently are in the wrong place at the wrong time and get hit by cars that come by. It's a horrible situation, something that we take very seriously. Obviously, authorities do too, which is why they're trying to bring this car over and get it to stop here peacefully, hopefully. But as we head towards the top of the hour here, look, more and more traffic out there as it just zigzags in between cars. We've seen one vehicle now, one kind of crossover black SUV has been hit. I don't think badly. I don't think any injuries necessarily, but the car was probably pretty beaten up as the back bumper was ripped off. But nonetheless, even with that, this white pickup truck, the driver of it, just keeps on going quite successfully, meandering through fairly heavy traffic at times, even through residential neighborhoods with a little meandering room, has continued to evade police now for at least 45 minutes or so is probably the timeline I'm looking at. I'm not sure exactly when it was initially spotted at 34th and Lawndale. But what we understand to be true.
They attempted to throw stop sticks, it looked like.
We're hearing they're trying to throw out stop sticks. Those often can be kind of tricky to navigate and really get ahead of this vehicle, and oftentimes that takes a few tries before they are successful. But it looks like they threw something out.
Looks like
anyway.
Right.
So hopefully, and it looks to be getting into quite a sandwich situation here. Not as easy to meander through all of this traffic here, and hopefully, if those stop sticks work in any way. May have been another unsuccessful attempt. It's throwing down stop sticks in front of this vehicle. Has just seemed to be, I think we're nearing Metcalf Avenue at this point, but just has really done amazing maneuvering to make its way all across the metro this afternoon and avoiding police at every turn.
Carolyn, this has been... I've been watching your coverage of this. This has been some of the most harrowing coverage we've seen on Kansas City streets in quite some time. Just the speed that this guy has been traveling at, not only in residential neighborhoods, but what caught my attention is when he was rolling through that parking lot in the Walmart just off of Rowe.
Yeah.
That's where you don't know what's going to happen. And the
now
driver
going the
of
wrong
this
direction down this
my gosh.
Lane here. That's when it gets especially dangerous, obviously heading right into oncoming traffic.
So, as you mentioned earlier, Carolyn, this all started on the Missouri side, about 34th and Lawndale, and the driver of this pickup apparently hit a police cruiser, and that's what started this.
Okay. This white pickup truck now heading east towards State Line Avenue this afternoon. So, again, eastbound towards State Line. Again, multiple lanes of traffic here to meander through, and has done so fairly successfully, if I can use that word, throughout the afternoon as this continues to just go on now into 45 minutes, close to an hour now, that police have been after this white pickup truck, just passing Lamar there on 435.
Well, you knew that there was a sense of desperation to this driver when early on in this chase, he took off, and that's when he was in Kansas City, Kansas, and he was in the rail yards area, and he was just cruising down, the rail yard. And that's what you knew. This guy was going to do anything he could to try and get away from officers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the fact that that vehicle has withstood all of these strange conditions is quite simply amazing. I don't know if you saw it there, but from Chopper 5, you could see the police helicopter also staying right over top of this car. It's in our viewfinder there. Our Chopper 5 viewfinder has their police chopper right in view as well. So clearly they are right on top of this.
Was that we were able to get a glimpse inside of the cab, and you could tell that she was in a state of panic, so to speak. So it'll be interesting to find out what her relationship is with the driver, what happened, because she was making some hand gestures, and you could tell that she was not happy with what was going on.
Yeah, I do not want to be a part of this.
And then clearly when he came to almost a stop, she gets out with her hands up, and then he takes off again. So obviously now she's in custody of police, who are now questioning her about her role in all of this. But the speeds at which this pickup is now, there's, again, now you can see through Chopper 5's eyes, there's a police chopper there in the top portion of your screen. But, more and more people, Carolyn, you've been saying this throughout this coverage, more and more people are now hitting the streets and the roads as he got off of 35. And let's see what happens here.
Causing a U-turn. Seems to be slowing down finally here. All right, it's the driver's door is open. Hands were up in the air briefly, and already down on the ground, put his hands immediately behind his back. This is near Warnell and 435. This chase that has led police from both sides of the state line all over the place has finally come to a peaceful ending here at 435 near Warnell this afternoon, as several officers now come up upon the truck, guns drawn, but he seems to have come out hands up and went right down to the ground, hands behind his back, ready to surrender here. And it does not appear that they seem concerned at all that there's anyone else inside that pickup truck. As we mentioned, he did drop off a passenger several miles ago safely. A woman got out of the passenger side, but he is being handcuffed here on the right here on the street at Warnell and 435 this afternoon. A successful ending to a police chase that has really drug on all through the afternoon hour, about 45 minutes or so, at least, at minimum, that started at 34th and Lawndale in Kansas City, Missouri, and has finally come to an end here at 435 and Warnell.
Interesting to note that he's wearing a safety vest. The suspect is wearing a safety vest. Don't know why or what he was doing, but a large number of police who have now converged on this scene. But thankfully now this is over. It's come to a safe conclusion. He did hit some cars, did considerable damage to one SUV during this melee when he was on the run, but this is over now.
Yeah, we're hearing now officially from police that it was over 40 minutes that this pursuit took place. So it was ongoing for a good long while from Kansas City, Missouri, across the state lines through Kansas City, and finally ending here at 435 and Warnell this afternoon as he awaits being officially taken away in handcuffs here from this scene, as now this chase that we have watched from Chopper 5 is now officially over. Thankfully, besides the one car we saw being hit, kind of a rear bumper problem, didn't look to be, anyone injured kind of a thing. Thankfully, it looks as if no one was injured along the way. You know what
was frightening, though, about that incident that you were just describing when he clipped that SUV?
Yeah.
He had no designs on slowing down. He was going to plow through if he could. It just so happened that I thought he was going to spin that driver out and to make it even worse. So clearly he was doing anything he could to get away from officers. I mean, he displayed that throughout this entire 40-minute chase, from going through a rail yard to going through, plowing through a Walmart parking lot. It's just an amazing scene of events here, as then he was going, on down the wrong lanes on I-35. I mean, this really was very dangerous today.
Indeed. They're patting him down now before putting him in that police cruiser to take him in to custody for, I'm sure, further questioning on what exactly transpired here. But that is something that we will continue to investigate for you throughout the evening.